So a few days back, I did a video. It's called "Time for Money, Money for Time," and I asked a very good friend to critique it. I was expecting him to critique the video as a whole, but bless his good heart, he critiqued the idea, and he sent me a lot of his perception and how he took my video via Viber, and I asked him that I was gonna make a video out of it to answer his points because they are very valid points, and I guess it's also a good way for me to clarify what I was trying to say because I did everything live. When things are done live, my ideas can get jumbled up. I'm not as good. So let's start. So my friend, he said, "Tell me if I'm getting this right, bro. The rich man saved his money from his 8 to 5 car wash job, while the poor man did not." Okay, let me analyze that. He did not really save his money, he invested it. But yeah, he invested it. Saving is just keeping it, saving is risk free. Saving is getting 10 pesos, hiding that 10 pesos, and getting the exact 10 pesos in return. Very safe, risk free, no growth. Probably a decline because of things like inflation. Let's go on. And this in turn led to him overthrowing his then boss by making it big in the same business that was a lot better. My friend is inferring that crazy rich guy uh, overthrew his boss. When you say overthrow, it means destroying the business, uh, usurping the business. I think overthrow is a very negative word, and I don't think I mentioned it. I did mention that it's possible he might have had a business that was better in terms of value than his old boss. That was my assumption. The comic didn't discuss it. So, yeah, I don't think I would portray or perpetrate an idea like overthrowing anyone. I think it is a very negative way of going at things because it is possible to work in tandem or even work together with someone like your competition. As a matter of fact, in our business right now, we are pretty much in a good relationship with our competition, and as a matter of fact, we get some of our supplies from our competitors. And us in turn, we also help them with their service because they actually refer some patients to us. So I like a more symbiotic mutual growth kind of mindset when it comes to business. That is why I avoid uh, price wars or getting into a business with really, really tight price margins because you go into price wars, it's a very negative kind of business, especially if it's based on price, because I'd rather look for a niche that is very dependent on mutual growth, on niche markets. That's the one that I would personally go for. I'd avoid anything that has price wars in it. I'd run so far away because my strategy has always been to add value, not cut costs or not be cheaper. I'm not gonna. I wonder if I should say hate, but I'm not a fan of anything that cuts the budget and cuts the value just so I can market myself to a certain market segment. Okay, so let's go on. At the end part of the video, You said that your employees shouldn't do what the rich man in that comic did since they will fail. I'm not sure if I said anything like that. Let's continue. Because they will start from zero. What level did the rich man start? Okay, I think my friend confused the two concepts. Uh, one of my concepts is that rather than starting your own tower, it is a lot wiser to build upon the tower of somebody that is already there. I mean, it's still brings back to my concept of working together, because I would always make the choice to work with someone rather than start something completely new. That is because I I metaphorically describe it as someone who has already built a tower. So what I'm gonna do is help it build build it taller or bigger than start something completely new. Uh, as for my employees, uh, I think it was taken out of context, but I do tell my employees, if you have plans, it would be less of a risk if you uh, if you what do you that comma if you combine those plans with mine, because it will become the two of us working together as opposed to working alone. I don't believe in something that is 100% failure and 100% success, because everything in business entails risk. So I won't say that they will fail, but I would say that the risk is larger, and when risks are bigger, well, you know what happens. Although risk is a funny thing, because the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So it is a completely different case that someone would take a lot of risk as long as the rewards are very high, because there are also a lot of cases where the risk far outweighs the reward, and a good example of that is gambling. Gambling has too much risk and too little reward, considering the thing that you gambled. A lot of people lost their money and lost their lives in gambling, so we know how bad it is. How bad it is, something like a regular lottery habit, how bad those are. So, what level did the rich man start? The rich man started at the bottom, I guess. He did not have an option to work with his then boss, because the comic could not show that. But if it was closer to real life, that rich man would have talked to his boss and said, "Hey boss, I think I want to leave the business because I want to start my own." And then the boss might say, if he was smart, "What's your business idea? Cuz I'd like to help you with it." And then he can say it. "I got these three other guys, and then we're coming up with this kind of service." And the boss would say, "I can fund that," because that's a thing. Sometimes you might need additional capital. That's the most common help you can get. Either you need a capital or you need experience of someone better. So let's go on. Uh, I'm just gonna check if you're seeing this. Okay. Okay. My friend then said, "Your employees will live miserable, unfortunate lives if they chose not to work for you or partner with you." I don't know why I give that impression, but here's the thing with me. I am not 100% on anything, because I find out, I've learned in life, that the truth is somewhere in the middle. It's not somewhere in the extreme left, it's not somewhere in the extreme right. You have to find the sweet spot, get in the middle, and that's where the truth lies. It would be very possible if my employees will start their own things, work do something completely without me and be very successful. That is possible. I'm not going to discount that. However, if, for example, they're going to start their own optical shop, they're going to start from complete scratch and they are going to have to learn the things I have learned along the way. Because here's the thing, we also came, my wife at least, also came from a different optical business, where she decided that we would start our own, me and her. So basically, me and her combined our experiences to come up with the optical shop we have right now, as opposed to her old, to where she worked before, where it had certain ideas, certain business philosophies that did not make it progress. So that's a reason why she started along with me, to lessen the risk, because if she chose to start it alone without me, it would entail a lot of risk, a lot of loan interests, bigger overhead, and plus the knowledge that I contribute, the knowledge that I contribute, my wife's knowledge and my knowledge. So let's go on. Then your explanation of the rich guy for him not to be imitated by the people working under him is to have a big capital, or basically to have money. Well, I admit I said it the wrong way, because in the video I did say one of the things that will make you hard to be copied is to have a bigger capital. That is totally wrong. So I'm thanking my friend for bringing it up because I have a chance to explain. What I really meant was add value. You can always add value to whatever business you are in now. You just have to be creative enough. It is very difficult, especially for some businesses, like the food business. I am completely clueless about the food business. So that's a really big challenge for me if I ever find myself in one. Although, as for now, I don't think I'd be spending a big amount of capital or risk on anything that is food related. So yeah, I probably need a silver spoon up my ass too and be like this rich guy with shades and make his business dream come true. I think that's one of the most common mistakes, that you need to have a big capital. A big capital is like being a big guy in mixed martial arts. It is a humongous advantage. But the thing is, it's also not everything. It's not every advantage. Because think of it this way, I played in a band. In a band, I got three or four other guys to do work for no pay. Well, it would sound like a scammer. I'm a scammer if I say that. But the truth is, the four or five of us were working on a common goal, and we had a philosophy. We had each other's backs. All of us were working for no money. So that's the thing. Sometimes you can get people to work if your vision is good enough, or your vision convinces them. So capital, as much as I would say that it's a big advantage, it is not the be all of everything, because sometimes you are just over up your ass and you might not have enough capital. But if you have a vision and you have the right people, you have the right, that's the key, the right people, because sometimes not all of us are charismatic. So we can use our charms to to convince other people to invest on our business. Sometimes we don't have capital. So if we don't have charms and we don't have capital, then the third thing is we should we should have the skill to look for other people who has either of these that we can work with. As for me, uh, I wasn't really born poor, but I managed to convince my father to loan me the capital. That's how we started our business. It was a big risk. I was afraid of it. There were actually a lot of setbacks when we started our optical. But that's a different story. And here's the thing: we risk. There was a big risk in our business venture, and there's also a big reward. That's why I am talking to you now. Because if I were a complete nobody, I don't think I'd have the time nor the average equipment to do this. So let's get on with what my friend was saying. The video, my video, his pertaining to my video, had some great content and lessons, but getting to be like the rich guy had some comical gray areas. That's my honest constructive feedback for you, brother. So, my friend, I think my when my friend and I met, we were very different people then. Uh, we had very different backgrounds. We've been apart for quite a while, and I guess we knew each other like 15 years ago or so. And things have changed since then. I've been exposed to this world of business and this world of creating value for everyone, and I don't have that mindset anymore that this world is a dog eat dog world. I think there is opportunity for everyone, and success and being rich, those are just the consequences of providing value. It's the most honest feedback the universe can give you. If you provide value, you are going to be financially well off. Although, more than that, I would like to stress the importance of balance, because some people can just be very, very rich but can have the worst lives imaginable. A lot of showbiz personalities, they are drowning in money, but they are very depressed people, and sometimes a lot of them even go as far as, you know, offing themselves, committing suicide. So those things, it's not really about the money, it's about contribution, it's about art. The more I do business, the more I see how similar it is to creating music. It's like forming a relationship, coming up with ideas to share to the world that would help everyone. That is how I see business, and that is why I told my wife I really want to do a YouTube channel, because I see my life right now improving so much, and I just like to share the ideas and the mindset I have on how someone or anyone can achieve it. Of course, I'm still new. I mean, I have a lot of friends. You might be watching this, and you they are far more bigger than I am in terms of finances. I'm not gonna argue with that. I am, you know, I don't know if I should use the word rich. I mean, I don't think I am very rich at all. I just budget. Not I won't use the word budget. Rather, I'm just very aware of my financial status, because I'm gonna discuss it in another video. It's a financial map. I know you've heard it a lot of times. It's like tracking calories in your diet. It's so hard to do. It makes you you're gonna feel like such a lazy bum when you do it because it's hard. But I'm a big proponent of tracking your finances. In that way, you can do projections. You know what kind of risk you can entail, what your capabilities are, and what stuff you have to do to to make your finances better. Because here's the basics of all basics: get out of debt. That's the first thing everyone should do. When you get out of debt, no matter the money you have in the bank is, when you're out of debt, you're gonna feel like a rich guy. You don't need those crazy material things, expensive stuff. When you don't have debt, you're gonna feel very, very free. And one way to get out of it is to map your finances so you have an idea of where to go or how much you would need to get out of it. So that's it for the video right now. I want to thank my friend again. You're very helpful among all the friends that I talked to. My friend really took the time to listen to my video 2 or 3 times, break down his points, give me his very honest feedback. And yeah, I don't think he necessarily agrees with me, but I really appreciate that he took that time, because that's what friends are. Regardless if they agree with you or not, they're gonna take the time to read or watch whatever it is you're saying, and they're just gonna give their feedback. And I do hope that this friend, that I would change his perception of things, because I really would like to help him. Because one of the things I would want to do is have my friends live a better life, uh, get away from the problems and the stress that they have right now. Mostly they're financial related, because this world, that's the basics of all the basics. You need to take care of your finances. It's the challenge we have, especially in a third world country like Philippines. So I think and I hope that I'm giving all of this advice for free, and I would be more than happy to receive criticisms or even rebuttals of my ideas so I can explain. I understand that it's not with disdain that you might say things like that. It's more of, yeah, just a disagreement, and it would also give me a chance to clarify my points. Thank you very much for checking, and have a nice day.